Hey guys, my name is G.P.S. and welcome back. You may remember that I talked about adding another one of these finesse pendants to my collection in my last wish list. I was thinking about either adding an identical piece to this to layer, or perhaps one in a different colorway to either stack or use as a piece on its own. But what has occurred to me is that I should probably try out some other pendants from different brands before buying multiples of the exact same design. And I ended up turning to a brand that I have purchased, I would say, a handful of different creations from over the years as gifts for friends and family. But I have only ever purchased one piece for myself, which is VanCleef. But of course, leave it to me to pick the most difficult to find and most popular piece around Valentine's Day. But thankfully, after spending hours with, I have to say, their incredible customer service on the phone, they were able to track down one for me. So if you want to see the latest addition to my tiny little VanCleef collection, then please keep on watching. So I'm not completely foreign to the world of VanCleef because, as I mentioned, I have purchased a handful of different creations from them over the years, mainly as gifts for family and friends, and I only ever picked up one piece for myself, truly just to kind of test the waters of the brand and see what the hype is all about. But I never found another piece that I would have been particularly interested in. But through those smaller purchases, I actually developed a pretty good relationship with their boutique in New York. Their original boutique is inside of Bergdorf, which, if you ever want to experience what VanCleef is all about, you have to go and visit that store if you're in New York. It's not only the most unique, intimate luxury experience because of the ambiance of the store, but they also carry some of the most unique pieces from the brand and they have top-notch customer service. I have been to quite a few of their boutiques around the US, but my favorite has to be the one in New York and then the one in Miami in the Design District. The one in Miami is a completely different experience, but it is absolutely worth visiting if you're into architecture because the architecture of that store makes it one of my absolute favorite stores in the US. It's just such an incredibly modern and contemporary take on the aesthetic of this heritage brand that I think is a must-see if you're into luxury fashion, luxury lifestyle, and luxury jewelry, or even just architecture for that matter. So those two stores have to be my favorite. And because of this relationship with the brand, I have always been really intrigued by them. And actually, one of the last events that I got to attend before everything closed down was with VanCleef. I got to go and have afternoon tea with the brand. They invited, I believe, lecturers from a jewelry school in Paris that VanCleef is really closely associated with. And they gave us a talk on the heritage of the brand and some of their most unique creations inspired by nature, which was just so much fun. And then right after the event, we got to have a private shopping event, which is the first time I ever looked at this particular piece that I just picked up. But at the time, I wasn't aware of these things called chain extensions, which is something that I talked about when I was unboxing this particular piece, which was one of the biggest revelations of 2020 for me. In case you didn't see that video of mine, I'll have that linked up here. But long story short, I discovered these things called chain extensions, which are basically small little chains made of solid gold that you can clip onto any necklace you buy out there, and you can make them drastically longer without you having to get the necklace taken apart, without you having to take it to a jeweler or having them shipped away with the brand to alter the length, which has opened up this whole new world for me of necklaces because I have always struggled to find pieces that would have been long enough for me. And VanCleef does offer the option to get their pieces extended. But when you're buying something that's brand new to you, I think it can be quite a risky thing to do, to buy something, get it immediately altered without you really having the chance to try it and see how you like it. And then if you receive it once it's been altered, there is really no way for you to return it or exchange it for something else. And that's really the reason why I never pulled the trigger and ended up buying this particular piece from VanCleef. But thankfully, now that I have these chain extensions, it's a whole new world, it's a new day, and I can pretty much buy whatever necklace I want and make them longer without having to get them altered or changed in any shape or form. And I actually ended up getting a new one from Etsy, which I currently have on. When I initially got this necklace, I had an extension made with my jeweler, which I think just ended up being a tiny bit too long. I wanted to get one that is just a little bit shorter. So I ended up ordering the one that I recommended in my previous video, which will be linked down again. And I have been so extremely happy with it. I did quite a bit of research to find one that is reliable, one that's not too flimsy, one that is not going to break in no time. And I have to say that this has been an amazing purchase. And if I had to choose one of the best things that came out of 2020, chain extensions have to be one of them for me. And now having this new extension kind of encouraged me to give this new piece a try. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dig into this. So the piece that I ended up getting came from the VanCleef website because most stores, not most stores, all stores are closed around me still. So I had to go onto the website to get this, and it wasn't an easy experience because this piece kept going in and out of stock, and even when it was in stock, I couldn't buy it. Every time I tried to check out, my credit card kept getting declined, so I ended up calling my bank. I ended up trying different credit cards, but it would always get declined. So in the end, I called customer services, and they told me that it's not my fault. There was some sort of a glitch with the website because this product was so popular around Valentine's Day that they simply couldn't keep it in stock and the website couldn't keep up. So I ended up getting this through customer service. I believe they got in touch with their logistics team or someone from their buying team, and they managed to track one piece down for me. And I have to tell you that I have experienced a lot of different customer services and buying pieces online from different luxury brands, but I've never had such incredible customer service with an online store. When it came to VanCleef, as soon as I got in touch with the customer service team, I was assigned to someone, and that person took me through the entire process. It was quite a lengthy process. I believe it took them about a week and a half to get this product for me. But throughout this entire journey, the person kept in touch. They called me almost every single day to give me an update. If they didn't call me, they emailed me. They told me when the product will be available, how it's going to get to me, when it's going to get to me, how I should pay for it. As soon as the product shipped, they let me know when the product arrived. They asked me how I felt about the product. Obviously, I haven't had a chance to open it and unbox it, so I have not been able to tell them. But if you are going to buy something from VanCleef and there isn't a VanCleef around you, because obviously they don't have too many boutiques around the world, or if the VanCleef boutique near you is closed, I would highly recommend that you get in touch with their customer service. I know it sounds intimidating, but it was just such an easy and painless process that I wanted to give them a shout out for that. So this came from their online boutique. It came wrapped like this. It came with the bag. And then within the bag, there is one of these little booklets, which has the certificate inside, which just basically reassures you that the product you purchased is indeed authentic. This is the exact same booklet that came with my previous VanCleef piece and then all the other pieces that I purchased in the past. You do get a little care advice card that is in the middle, and then you get your authenticity card over here, which is, it comes in a VanCleef envelope, and then if you pull it out, it has the sticker on top, the serial number of the piece, and then also the date of the purchase, which for me was the 9th of February. So I bought this just a few days before Valentine's Day. So you want to make sure that you hold on to this, because if you ever need to get your VanCleef piece altered, I think they will need this. So it came with the little booklet, and then they sent a bag to go alongside with it. And I haven't actually had a chance to unbox this. I wanted to wait to do this with you guys. So I'm really excited to go through the entire experience with you. So it came beautifully wrapped in this silver paper with the VanCleef ribbon. And I think for the longest time, the New York boutique had a limited edition packaging, which I received for, I think, with most of my purchases. And then the last time I purchased the piece for myself, it did come in this packaging, but they also had a little, it was almost like a little embellished butterfly on top, but this is how my order came this time. So let's go ahead and unbox this because I haven't actually had a chance to look at it myself. Our next layer of packaging is this teal sort of pearlized box on the outside, which is the exact same colorway that my previous pieces came in. And if we open it up, it reveals this beautiful velvet box, which again is the same thing for the rest of VanCleef's creations. Obviously the size varies depending on how big the piece is that you pick up. And I'm actually quite surprised by how small this box is. I expected it to be a little bit larger, but let's go ahead and see if I got the right piece that I wanted. And the color and the aesthetic of the packaging of VanCleef is absolutely stunning. It's timeless and it's extremely chic. But let's go ahead and open this. And the piece that I ended up picking up is the so-called Sweet Alhambra pendant with red carnelian in rose gold. Now I knew that if I'm going to buy something from VanCleef, it's going to have to be in the iconic Alhambra motif, because this is the design that VanCleef is most well known for, and really all of their other designs are not really my cup of tea. Some of them are a little bit too whimsical for me. For example, the ones that they have with the animals, the ones with the little beads that they have is just a little bit weird in my opinion. And then they have some that are quite nice with flowers and butterflies, but they were just a little bit too ladylike for me. So I knew that if I'm going to buy anything from them, it's going to have to be in the Alhambra collection, especially because I already own a bracelet from them with the Alhambra design in this actually exact same colorway. And the reason why I never ever purchased anything before in this Alhambra line other than the bracelet itself, why I never purchased the necklace before, is because some of their pieces I think lean a little bit old school for me. Not to mention that the ones with the several different motifs are quite ladylike in my opinion and just not really my aesthetic. But when I discovered this, and now the fact that I have the chain extension makes this hopefully the perfect piece in my collection. If this looks like the way I envision this, this is going to be a piece that I'll be able to take advantage of a lot more than I would anything that is any more larger than this. So this is from their so-called sweet range, and sweet refers to the size of the pieces. I am by no means an expert on VanCleef, so if you're a VanCleef connoisseur, please feel free to jump in the comment section and let me know your thoughts and your experience with the different sizes. But if I'm not mistaken and if I remember correctly, the VanCleef Alhambra pieces come in 3 different sizes. The sweet one being the smallest one, which is kind of a miniaturized version of the original Alhambra piece. And in case you're not familiar with the Alhambra motif, it is meant to be a sign of good luck. It's supposed to be a talisman that brings you fortune and joy and luck. It is obviously very clearly inspired by the 4-leaf clovers, which are a traditional sign of luck. And I am a sucker for any kind of brand storytelling and anything that goes with these sort of luxury pieces. So as soon as I heard it, I was like,
okay, sign me up. I'm much more interested than I was before hearing that storyline.
So this is the sweet one, which is the smallest one. These usually you can pick up as just a single pendant that come on one single chain. The next size up is the so-called vintage Alhambra, which is just slightly bigger. And that one comes on a thicker chain, either as a single pendant, or you can buy it as part of a stack. When it's on a longer chain and you have several different motifs side by side, which come in different length and different variations. You can get it where you get 10 motifs on a smaller chain. You can get it where you get 20 motifs on a longer chain. Obviously, the 21 I think is probably the most popular and most iconic, but that's the one that was just way too ladylike for my liking. And then the largest size of the Alhambra is the so-called magic size, which is much bigger than both of the previous ones. And the magic one you can either pick up as a standalone piece that comes on a longer chain, or you can buy it as part of a stack, but it's not, for example with the vintage one, when you buy that one, the stack is just quite a few of the same sized pieces. But if you buy the magic one, it's usually matched with a few of the vintage sized motifs, just to kind of counterbalance that, because it is quite a large and heavy piece. So if you had a chain that was completely made up of those large pendants, it would be quite overwhelming. So VanCleef does play around with matching different sizes with different colors and finishes. And while we are on the topic of colors, you must have seen these in different colors before, and the color really comes down to the stone that they set in the middle. So this one is made with carnelian, which makes it red. And I was going back and forth between this one and then a couple of other ones. The traditional colors are obviously red, white, and black. White comes from mother of pearl, black comes from onyx. I think there's also blue, which is made of turquoise. And then they have a few other colorways. Some of them are limited and some of them are just seasonal. There are others that are also permanent, but you can only buy in certain sizes. And I was really only looking at the Sweet lineup, and those are all the options that they come in. And then the Sweet one also comes in just plain gold without any stones, which I actually did consider, but at the end of the day, when you think of VanCleef, you think of Alhambra and you think of their beautiful range of colors. So I wanted to get one in a color with a stone that is going to add a nice pop of color to my usually neutral outfits. And then there was also one that I really liked, which had tiny diamonds all around the clover instead of the stone in the middle. And that one I quite liked as well, but I couldn't find it in rose gold. I think it might only be available in white gold, and white gold is really not my jam. I don't think it looks good, first of all, with my skin tone. And then the piece that I'm planning on stacking it with is in rose gold, so I don't think that those two metals would have looked particularly nice together in such a close stack. So I ended up going with this mainly because I know what this color looks like. I am familiar with the color of the metal, which is slightly different from Hermes' rose gold. And I thought it would make a cohesive collection if I bought it in the same size. I am not planning on stacking them together with the bracelet, but still I think it just makes a beautifully organized collection, which I'm all about. And as I mentioned, red is not a color that I would ever go for when it comes to my outfits, so I think this would be a nice way to add a pop of color to my more neutral outfits. So I think I'm going to go ahead and assemble this onto my extension together with the finesse necklace so we can see what they look like together. So I have the finesse pendant hanging a little bit lower and then the Alhambra a little bit higher up, but I did actually just attach them to the very same chain extension. I have both of them hanging on the same one. Obviously, if I end up liking the Alhambra, I'll just have it shipped back to VanCleef and I'll have them extended. But this is what they look side by side. I was trying to play around with putting the finesse higher up and then the Alhambra lower down, but I think because the Alhambra is a little bit thinner and just more delicate than the finesse one, I think it looks better being a little bit higher up. And then if I wanted to use it on its own, I absolutely could. I just lifted the finesse one. Let me see. Yeah, this is what it would look like, just kind of on its own, the Alhambra one, which I actually still like it, especially with a more oversized outfit. I think it would look just really nice just to add a pop of color and just a pop of just something shiny there. The one thing that I'm kind of seeing just now in the viewfinder, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it on camera on your screen or if it just kind of shows up in person, but the chain of the Alhambra one is much shinier than the one with the finesse, which makes this one look even thinner than it actually is. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'll definitely have to kind of look back on the screen to see what they look like together, because in person there's just something a little bit off about it. I don't think it's the color difference. Obviously this one is more yellow, whereas the finesse one is more pink in real life. But I think I could get away with that. It's really the shine that makes it quite noticeably different, which obviously this is a stack. It's not going to be completely uniform. But I'm not sure how I feel about this being so shiny and this being a lot more matte. I'm not sure if you guys know what I mean. But anyway, this is what they look like together. I don't hate it by any means, but I am kind of wanting to see what this would look like with another finesse before I completely make up my mind, which won't be an option really, because I don't know when I would get a chance to go and try this on in store, considering that all stores are still closed. But I actually I quite like it. I'm not 100% convinced yet that these two make the best stack, but on its own, I think I would actually really like this. Let me just try to hold it with this hand so you guys can see it. Yeah, I think on its own it would actually be quite cute, so do let me know what you guys think. So this is what they ended up looking like together. I'm not sure how I feel about them together. I feel I actually like them more separate than as part of a stack together. I think the aesthetics are so different that perhaps I just have to get used to them. I'm not sure, but do let me know what you guys think. Now, one thing that I forgot to mention previously is that the VanCleef necklace, VanCleef does offer the service of extending the chains of the necklaces that they sell. So within the first 3 months of you buying anything from VanCleef, they do offer a sizing service. So if you buy a necklace or a bracelet, you can get it adjusted for free. When it comes to the necklace, I asked, and they can either take away or add 5 centimeters free of charge within the first 3 months. And then after, or not after, but above that 5 centimeters, they can actually make it longer if you want them to. I'm not sure what the maximum length is that you can go to, but if you actually want to make it longer, I believe they charge you just a little bit over 100 euros for an additional 5 centimeters, which I'm actually not sure if it's by centimeter or if it's for the total of 5 centimeters, but you have to pay a little bit above 100 euros for any additional extension, which I think I'm going to do with this. What I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to have them add just that 5 centimeter free of charge if it doesn't take too long, and then the rest I can just adjust with my chain extension if I want to stack it or even if I want to wear it on its own. But since I want it to be longer anyway, I might as well take advantage of this service. I don't know how long it's going to take. I'm not sure about the exact process considering that no stores are open at the moment. But I will absolutely keep you guys posted, and if you're interested or if you had a similar experience, then be sure to share your thoughts down below. But that's what I am planning on doing. I'm planning on adding just 5 centimeters, which is free of charge. I don't have to pay for that. And then the rest I can just play around with this extension that I got, which I have been extremely happy with. And then both of them are actually on the same extension now. I'll put up a picture here to show you guys what it looks like. But I attached both of them to the same extension and it worked out just fine. So I have been really, really happy with that as well. And yeah, this is pretty much it. This completes the video on my newest VanCleef unboxing. And then I think it's going to go perfectly with my little VanCleef bracelet as well. I don't think I'll be using them together, but still it's good to know that if I ever want to, I will be able to create a cohesive look. And I hope you guys enjoy this. Do let me know what you think about this VanCleef necklace, what your thoughts are on VanCleef. I know a lot of you out there absolutely love the brand and their aesthetic and their quality. So I would love to hear what you think, if there are any other pieces that you would recommend that I look into when it comes to the brand. And if you enjoy this, then please be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.